What if the king of soul left behind not just timeless music, but one of the biggest families in entertainment history? By 2026, the legacy of Ray Charles lives on through 12 children whose lives continue to intrigue fans around the world. Born to different mothers, their stories reveal a family as complex as the legend himself. Step inside the remarkable dynasty behind one of music's most iconic voices. Evelyn Robinson. Evelyn Robinson was the first child of legendary musician Ray Charles, born in 1949 to Louise Flowers at a time when the future icon was still struggling to establish himself in the competitive world of rhythm and blues. In those early years, Charles was far from the international superstar he would later become. He was performing in small clubs, traveling constantly, and recording songs while searching for the musical style that would eventually make him famous. Evelyn's birth came during this uncertain period, long before the breakthrough hits that would change her father's life and the direction of American music. During the late 1940s and early 1950s, Ray Charles was slowly building a reputation as a talented pianist and vocalist, blending gospel influences with blues and jazz. It would take several more years before his groundbreaking songs, such as What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind, turned him into one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. Because Evelyn was born before that explosion of fame, her childhood existed largely outside the glare of public attention that would later follow her father everywhere. Unlike many children of celebrities who grow up surrounded by media attention, Evelyn's early life appears to have remained relatively private. Historical records and interviews about Ray Charles's family reveal little about her personal life, suggesting she intentionally kept a distance from the public world associated with her father's career. This privacy has left many details about her upbringing and adulthood largely unknown, but it also indicates a life lived away from the pressures and scrutiny that often accompany celebrity families. As the first of Ray Charles's 12 children, Evelyn holds a unique place in the singer's complicated family history. Her birth marked the beginning of a large and diverse family that would eventually include children from several different relationships throughout Charles' life. In many ways, she represents the earliest chapter of the musician's personal story, before global fame, before sold-out concerts, and before his voice and piano would reshape the sound of modern soul music. Though Evelyn Robinson has remained mostly out of the spotlight, her place in Ray Charles's legacy is undeniable. As his eldest child, she symbolizes the quiet beginning of a family that grew alongside one of the most extraordinary careers in American music history. Ray Charles Robinson Jr. Ray Charles Robinson Jr. was born on May 25, 1955, the son of legendary musician Ray Charles and his second wife, Della Beatrice Howard Robinson. Unlike some of his half-siblings who grew up away from the spotlight, Ray Charles Jr. spent his childhood during the years when his father's career was reaching extraordinary heights. The late 1950s and early 1960s were a transformative time for Ray Charles, as his innovative blend of gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, and soul reshaped American popular music. As a child, Ray Charles Jr. witnessed the dramatic rise of his father's fame. During these years, songs such as What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind became defining hits, turning Ray Charles into an international superstar. While the world admired the singer's genius, life inside the family was far more complicated. Constant touring, recording schedules, and the pressures of fame meant that Ray Charles was often away from home, leaving his children to grow up largely under the care of their mother. Despite these challenges, Ray Charles Jr. developed a deep awareness of the complexities surrounding his father's life. He saw both the brilliance that made his father one of the most respected musicians of the 20th century and the personal struggles that came with such intense fame. In later years, he would speak openly about how difficult it could be to balance admiration for his father's achievements with the reality of growing up in a household shaped by celebrity and personal hardship. As an adult, Ray Charles Robinson Jr. became one of the most active voices in preserving and sharing his father's story. In 2004, he co-authored the memoir You Don't Know Me, Reflections of My Father, Ray Charles, a deeply personal account that explored the private side of the music legend. The book addressed not only Ray Charles's groundbreaking career, but also his struggles with addiction, the strains of constant touring, and the complicated relationships within his family. The memoir played an important role in shaping public understanding of the man behind the music. It also helped inspire the acclaimed 2004 biographical film Ray, which introduced a new generation to the life and legacy of Ray Charles. Through his writing and public appearances, Ray Charles Robinson Jr. has worked to ensure that his father's story is remembered not only for its triumphs but also for its honesty and humanity. David Robinson. David Robinson, born in 1958, is another son of the legendary musician Ray Charles and his wife Della Beatrice Howard Robinson. His birth came during an extraordinary period in American music history, when Ray Charles' influence was rapidly expanding across genres and audiences. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, Charles had already become one of the most innovative performers in the industry, blending gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, and country into a powerful sound that helped define modern soul music. Growing up in this environment meant that David's early years unfolded while his father was achieving some of the most important successes of his career. Songs such as What Did I Say had already revolutionized rhythm and blues, while later recordings like Georgia on My Mind would elevate Ray Charles to the status of a global icon. With constant touring, recording sessions, and public appearances filling his father's schedule, family life often took place in the shadow of a demanding career that required Charles to travel frequently. Despite being born into one of the most famous musical families of the 20th century, David Robinson chose a life largely outside the spotlight. Unlike some of his siblings who became more publicly involved in preserving or discussing their father's legacy, David has remained a private individual. Very little information about his professional life or personal pursuits has been widely documented, reflecting a deliberate choice to maintain distance from the media attention that often surrounds celebrity families. Even so, David remains an important part of the extended Robinson family. Over the years, members of Ray Charles's large family have occasionally gathered for public tributes, anniversaries, and special events celebrating the singer's enduring legacy. At such moments, David has sometimes appeared alongside his siblings, representing another branch of the family connected to the remarkable life of their father. His quiet presence highlights a different side of life within a famous family. While Ray Charles's music transformed the world and continues to influence generations of artists, not all of his children chose lives connected to the public stage. David Robinson's story reflects a more private path, one that exists alongside, yet separate from, the towering fame of one of America's greatest musical legends. Charles Wayne Hendricks. Charles Wayne Hendricks was born on October 1, 1959, the son of legendary musician Ray Charles and singer Margie Hendricks. His birth came during one of the most energetic and creatively explosive periods of Ray Charles's career. At the time, Charles was transforming American popular music by blending gospel, rhythm and blues, and jazz into a new sound that would later be recognized as the foundation of soul music. Margie Hendricks was not just a romantic partner in Ray Charles's life, she was also a key figure in his musical world. As one of the founding members of the Raylettes, the dynamic backing vocal group that toured and recorded with Charles, Margie spent years performing alongside him on stages across the United States and beyond. The Raylettes were an essential part of the Ray Charles sound, providing powerful harmonies and call-and-response vocals that energized performances and recordings alike. During the late 1950s and early 1960s, Ray Charles was reaching new creative heights. Songs such as What Did I Say were redefining rhythm and blues, bringing gospel intensity into secular music and pushing cultural boundaries. In this fast-moving environment of concerts, recording sessions, and constant travel, personal and professional relationships often overlapped. The relationship between Ray Charles and Margie Hendricks developed within this demanding touring life, where musicians spent months on the road together. As a result, Charles Wayne Hendricks entered a world closely tied to music. With a mother deeply involved in the industry, his early environment would have been surrounded by performers, rehearsals, and the backstage realities of touring life. While Ray Charles's career required him to spend long periods traveling, the community of musicians around him formed a unique extended family connected through shared creative work. Despite this colorful musical background, relatively little public information has been documented about Charles Wayne Hendricks's later life. Compared with some of Ray Charles's other children, he has largely remained outside the media spotlight. Nevertheless, his birth reflects an important aspect of Ray Charles's life story: how the boundaries between his personal relationships and professional world often blended together during the height of his touring years. Today, Charles Wayne Hendricks remains part of the broader legacy of Ray Charles's large family. His story is a reminder that behind the music that shaped generations, there existed a complex personal life intertwined with the vibrant, unpredictable world of touring musicians. Robert Robinson. Robert Robinson, born in 1960, is one of the sons of legendary musician Ray Charles and his wife Della, Beatrice Howard Robinson. As the third child born during their marriage, Robert grew up during a period when his father had already become one of the most influential figures in American music. By the early 1960s, Ray Charles's groundbreaking fusion of gospel, rhythm and blues, and jazz had reshaped the sound of popular music and earned him international acclaim. Despite being raised in the household of such a famous performer, Robert Robinson's life eventually moved in a very different direction from the entertainment industry. Like many children of well-known artists, he grew up surrounded by the realities of fame, touring schedules, recording sessions, and the pressures that accompanied his father's extraordinary career. Yet Robert chose to follow his own interests rather than pursue music. In his early adult years, Robert developed a strong interest in aviation. Fascinated by aircraft and flight, he pursued aviation studies and eventually became involved in the field professionally. For a time, he worked as an instructor at an aviation school in Los Angeles, helping train students who were interested in becoming pilots or pursuing aviation-related careers. This career path demonstrated his desire to build a life based on his own passions rather than rely on the legacy of his famous father. However, Robert's life would later take a profound spiritual turn. After years connected to aviation, he felt called toward religious service and began dedicating himself to ministry. Embracing faith as the center of his work, he eventually became known as Dr. Robert F. Robinson Sr., a pastor and religious leader committed to guiding others through spiritual teaching and community outreach. Over time, he founded ministries focused on faith, personal transformation, and service to the community. Through sermons, mentorship, and charitable initiatives, Robert Robinson has worked to support individuals and families seeking guidance and encouragement. His ministry reflects a mission centered on compassion, spiritual growth, and strengthening communities through faith. Rainey Robinson. Rainey Robinson was born in 1961, one of the children of legendary musician Ray Charles. Her mother, Mae Mosley Lyles, was connected to Charles during the years when his career involved constant touring and performances across the United States. During the early 1960s, Ray Charles was already a towering figure in American music, known for his innovative ability to blend gospel, rhythm and blues, and jazz into a distinctive style that helped shape modern soul. Rainey entered the world during a time when her father's influence in the music industry was continuing to grow. Songs such as What Did I Say had already revolutionized rhythm and blues, and Charles's reputation as a groundbreaking performer was firmly established. Yet, like many of Ray Charles's children, Rainey's life would unfold largely away from the public spotlight surrounding her father's career. Rather than pursuing a path connected to music or entertainment, Rainey Robinson built her life in the business and financial services world. As an adult, she became involved in industries focused on practical financial assistance for individuals and families. Her work has included credit repair services, helping clients address credit issues, improve their financial standing, and navigate complex credit reporting systems. In addition to credit-related work, Rainey has also been involved in tax services, offering support to people seeking guidance in preparing taxes or resolving financial challenges. Through these professional roles, she has focused on providing solutions that help individuals regain financial stability and better manage their personal finances. Rainey has also worked with programs connected to Legal Shield, a service organization that provides access to legal assistance and identity protection resources. By participating in this network, she has helped connect clients with legal support services designed to address everyday legal concerns. This work reflects a career built around helping people navigate complex financial and legal systems. Her professional journey highlights the wide variety of paths taken by the children of Ray Charles. While their father's extraordinary musical achievements remain central to American cultural history, many of his children developed careers that had nothing to do with the stage or recording studio. Rainey Robinson's life in business services demonstrates how members of the Ray Charles family built independent identities, pursuing practical professions while still carrying a name associated with one of music's greatest legends. Sheila Ray Charles. Sheila Ray Charles was born in 1963, the daughter of legendary musician Ray Charles and Sandra Jean Betts. Among Ray Charles's many children, Sheila's life became one of the most publicly known and emotionally complex. Growing up as the daughter of one of the most influential artists in American music history placed her close to the world of fame, performance, and constant travel that defined her father's career. During her youth, Sheila was drawn toward music, following the path that had made her father a global icon. Ray Charles's groundbreaking sound, blending gospel, blues, jazz, and soul, had already reshaped the music industry through hits like What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind. Inspired by that legacy, Sheila attempted to build a musical career of her own and even spent time touring with her father in her early years, gaining first-hand experience of life on the road and the realities of the entertainment industry. However, Sheila's life eventually took a difficult and highly public turn. As she grew older, she struggled with substance abuse, a battle that mirrored some of the personal challenges her father had also faced earlier in his life. These struggles led to serious legal problems, and Sheila ultimately spent time in prison. Her story became widely discussed in the media, illustrating the heavy pressures that can accompany growing up within a famous and complicated family environment. Despite these hardships, Sheila Ray Charles later worked to rebuild her life. After confronting her addiction and the consequences it had brought, she turned toward faith as a source of transformation and healing. She became a Christian speaker and minister, openly sharing her personal story with audiences in churches, recovery programs, and community events. Through her testimony, she spoke about addiction, forgiveness, and the possibility of redemption after even the darkest periods of life. In later years, Sheila's message focused on hope and second chances. By speaking publicly about her past struggles, she aimed to encourage others facing addiction or personal crisis to believe that change was possible. Her willingness to share her experiences gave her a unique voice as both a survivor and a spiritual advocate. Sheila Ray Charles passed away in 2017, leaving behind a legacy that was both complicated and deeply human. Her life reflected not only the challenges that sometimes accompany fame, but also the strength required to confront personal failure and seek redemption. Through both her struggles and her recovery, she remained an unforgettable chapter in the extended story of Ray Charles's remarkable family. Retha Butler. Retha Butler, born in 1966, is one of the lesser-known children of legendary musician Ray Charles. While many details of Ray Charles's life and career have been widely documented, information about some members of his extended family has remained far more limited. Rayatha stands out as one of the most private individuals among the singer's 12 children, choosing a life that has largely remained outside the public spotlight. By the time Rayatha was born, Ray Charles had already achieved global fame and recognition. His groundbreaking blend of gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, and country had transformed American music and helped define the emerging sound of soul. Songs such as What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind had made him an international star, admired for his powerful voice, innovative piano playing, and emotional depth. As a result, being part of the Ray Charles family often meant living with the attention that accompanied such an extraordinary legacy. Despite that famous connection, Aretha Butler's life has remained largely undocumented in public sources. Even the identity of her mother has not always been consistently confirmed in widely available records, which has contributed to the limited public understanding of her background. This absence of information suggests a deliberate choice to maintain privacy, avoiding the publicity that often surrounds the children of iconic entertainers. While some of Ray Charles's children have written books, given interviews, or participated in public events celebrating their father's legacy, Rayatha has taken a different path. Her name occasionally appears in discussions of the singer's family history, yet details about her professional career, personal interests, or daily life are rarely shared in the media. This silence reflects a personal decision that many relatives of famous figures make, to live quietly rather than remain tied to a public narrative shaped by a parent's fame. In many ways, Rayatha Butler's story represents a lesser-seen side of celebrity families. While Ray Charles's music continues to be celebrated worldwide, not all of his children sought public roles connected to his career or reputation. Some, like Rayatha, chose to build lives away from the stage, interviews, and public events. Her privacy does not diminish her place within the remarkable family story of Ray Charles. Instead, it highlights the diverse ways his children navigated life with such a famous surname, some embracing public attention, while others quietly stepped away from it. Alexandra Bertrand. Alexandra Bertrand was born in 1968, the daughter of legendary musician Ray Charles and Mary Chantal Bertrand. By the time Alexandra entered the world, her father had already secured his place as one of the most influential artists in modern music. Throughout the 1960s, Ray Charles's groundbreaking fusion of gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, and country had reshaped the American music landscape, earning him international fame and a reputation as one of the pioneers of soul music. Growing up as the child of such a celebrated performer meant that Alexandra was connected to a remarkable cultural legacy. Ray Charles had achieved worldwide recognition through songs such as What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind, and his career continued to flourish through decades of touring, recording, and performing. His life was filled with concerts, awards, and public appearances, making his name instantly recognizable across the globe. Despite this famous background, Alexandra Bertrand chose a life that has remained largely outside the public spotlight. Unlike some children of well-known entertainers who pursue careers in music, film, or media, Alexandra appears to have taken a much quieter path. Public information about her professional life, personal interests, or day-to-day activities has remained limited, suggesting that she deliberately avoided the publicity often associated with a legendary family name. Her decision reflects a broader pattern among several of Ray Charles's children. While some members of the family have written books, spoken publicly about their father, or participated in events celebrating his legacy, others have preferred privacy and independence. Alexandra's life appears to fall firmly into that latter category, demonstrating that not every member of a famous family seeks attention or recognition connected to their parents' career. The relative anonymity surrounding Alexandra Bertrand highlights an important reality about celebrity families. Even when a parent's achievements dominate cultural history, their children may pursue lives defined by personal choices rather than public expectations. By remaining largely outside the entertainment industry and avoiding the media spotlight, Alexandra has maintained a degree of privacy that many people connected to famous figures rarely experience. Vincent Kochunian. Vincent Kochunian was born in 1977 in Los Angeles, the son of legendary musician Ray Charles and Arlette Kochunian. By the time Vincent entered the world, his father had already become one of the most celebrated figures in American music. Ray Charles's groundbreaking career had spanned decades, influencing multiple genres and inspiring generations of performers through his unique blend of gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, and soul. Growing up in Los Angeles placed Vincent close to the cultural environment that had surrounded his father's remarkable career. Ray Charles had already created a vast musical legacy with timeless songs such as What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind, recordings that helped define the sound of modern soul music. While the singer's name carried global recognition, Vincent's own interests gradually developed in directions that combined creativity with personal independence. As a young adult, Vincent pursued higher education at University of Southern California, one of the most respected universities in the United States. His time there helped shape his professional and personal development, giving him opportunities to explore different fields and refine his interests. Rather than focusing entirely on the music industry, Vincent built a career that blended artistic expression with practical work. One of his professional roles included working as a fitness trainer, a career centered on physical health, discipline, and helping others improve their well-being. This work allowed him to establish an identity separate from the expectations often placed on the children of famous entertainers. Yet Vincent did not completely distance himself from his father's artistic world. Over time, he became involved in creative projects connected to Ray Charles's legacy. Among these contributions was his participation in the design of album artwork related to his father's music. Album design is an important part of the visual identity surrounding recorded music, helping shape how audiences experience and remember a musical work. By contributing to these artistic elements, Vincent found a meaningful way to connect with the legacy of Ray Charles while expressing his own creative perspective. Robin LaJoya Moffett. Robin LaJoya Moffett, also known professionally as Robin Charles, was born in 1978 in Chicago, the daughter of legendary musician Ray Charles and Gloria Moffett. Unlike some of her siblings who pursued careers far removed from the entertainment world, Robin eventually followed a path that connected closely with the musical heritage of her famous father. From an early age, she grew up aware of the extraordinary influence Ray Charles had on American music and culture. Ray Charles had already established himself as one of the most innovative artists of the 20th century, blending gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, and country into a powerful sound that shaped modern soul music. Classic songs such as What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind had made his voice instantly recognizable across the world. Growing up with that legacy surrounding her, Robin developed an interest in music that gradually became the foundation of her own career. Determined to build her skills professionally, Robin pursued formal education in music. She attended Columbia College Chicago, a well-known institution recognized for its programs in the arts and media industries. There, she studied vocal performance as well as music business, gaining both artistic training and practical knowledge about how the modern music industry operates. This combination of creative and business education helped prepare her for a career that would extend beyond performing alone. After completing her studies, Robin worked as a singer-songwriter, creating and performing music under the professional name Robin Charles. Through her songwriting and vocal work, she embraced the artistic tradition that her father helped pioneer while also developing a voice and style of her own. Her involvement in music reflected both personal passion and a sense of responsibility toward a remarkable family legacy. In addition to performing, Robin expanded her work into the business side of the industry. She founded R. Charles and Combie Enterprises, a company focused on music consulting and publishing. Through this venture, she has worked to support artists, manage creative projects, and help navigate the complex legal and commercial structures of the music world. By combining artistry with entrepreneurship, Robin has contributed to preserving and expanding the cultural impact of the Charles family name. Her career demonstrates how the legacy of Ray Charles continues through new generations, not only through music itself, but also through the business and creative structures that keep that music alive for future audiences. Ryan Corey Robinson Denbach. Ryan Corey Robinson Denbach, often known simply as Corey Robinson, was born in 1987 and is the youngest child of legendary musician Ray Charles and Mary Ann Denbach. By the time Corey entered the world, his father had already secured a permanent place in music history. Ray Charles's groundbreaking career had stretched across decades, influencing countless artists and reshaping the sound of modern American music through his innovative blend of gospel, rhythm and blues, jazz, and country. During the late 1980s, when Corey was born, Ray Charles was widely recognized as a living legend. His recordings had already produced timeless classics such as What Did I Say and Georgia on My Mind, and his impact on soul music was firmly established. Although the singer was entering the later years of his career, he continued to perform, record, and receive honors celebrating his extraordinary influence on the music world. Growing up with such a remarkable musical legacy naturally shaped Corey's interests. From an early age, he developed a passion for music that echoed the artistic spirit of his father. While many of Ray Charles's children pursued careers far from the stage, Corey demonstrated an enthusiasm for performing and experimenting with sound. Over time, he began sharing his musical talents publicly through online platforms, where he posted performances that showcased both his instrumental skills and his vocal abilities. These recordings often included covers of classic songs, allowing him to reinterpret well-known pieces while expressing his own musical style. His performances have attracted attention from fans who appreciate hearing a new generation connected to the legacy of Ray Charles. Unlike the era when his father first rose to fame through radio, vinyl records, and live touring, Corey's musical journey has unfolded in the digital age. By sharing performances online, he has been able to reach audiences in a completely different way, connecting directly with listeners around the world through modern technology. What do you think about Ray Charles's children? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.